Hi everybody, welcome to Deb's Way. I'm Deb and you are here today for a little bit of a different video. I was recently tagged in the This or That challenge going on in the sewing community. Angela at Just Me and My Fabric tagged me and she asked those of us who she did tag to do it if we felt like it, and I've been amused by this challenge or tagging or whatever you want to call it. I've watched other channels, including, of course, Angela's, and actually watching other people talk about this tag led me to the Curated Curvy, Julianna, who started this This or That tag. I'm now a new member of her channel, and really, she's very, very good. Go check her out. She's a very knowledgeable sewist. So I've learned a lot from the other channels as to what procedures they follow. Now for me, I learned sewing way back in junior high school, and that was many years ago, let me tell you. Oh my goodness, over 50 years ago, okay? And back in those days, well, things that I learned back then have stuck with me through today. But I still am open to learning new things, and I always will be, I'm sure. But even though I do learn new things, doesn't mean that I might change to the new way of doing it. I still kind of hang on to the old. Whatever works out best for me, that's what I do. So anyway, let me get to doing this tag and we'll see how it goes. And of course, I had them printed out here, but I do have to use my glasses because I can't see anything without them. Okay. There's shopping new versus stash busting. Nowadays, I don't have much of a stash built up. I basically kind of buy for the pattern that I want to sew. So I would say shopping new. I do buy up on some fabrics on sale, but I kind of have an idea anyway as to what I want to use them for. I used to have a stash built up. Bella, I used to have quite a stash built up before the pandemic, and since the pandemic I don't have that stash anymore. I got rid of it, gave it away, sold it, whatever. All the fabric that I didn't want to hang on to, I sold a lot, let me tell you. But yeah, I don't have much of a stash build up these days, so I shop new. PDFs versus paper patterns. I have done both, and my preference though would be give me a paper pattern any day, okay? The big four companies, or actually I have bought Style Arc off of Amazon lately and gotten a paper copy of the pattern already. One that I didn't have to tape together, and I like that. It's not hard to do, it's just time consuming, and I'd rather have a nice printed paper copy that I can refer back to. I don't know, I'm just used to having the tissue paper copy. Although nowadays the tissue paper is really very thin. That's just a little critique thrown in there. Okay, next one, cutting versus tracing. Well, I have only traced a few of the patterns, and that's been after I've already cut the pattern out and sewn it once, and I decided I liked it so well that I would make it again, like that summer dress that I make all the time. Yes, I've traced that pattern and have it in a more substantial form. The tissue paper is thicker because it's an older pattern, but it's not going to hold up forever. So I've traced it onto regular tracing type paper. Okay, muslin or just go for it. And I can tell you that I've never made a muslin of anything. So yep, I just go for it. And if it works out, I'm very, very happy. And if it doesn't, I'm a little disappointed. Sometimes if it's worth it to me, I'll tweak it and make it work. Sometimes I'll just be over it. Okay, so in-store versus online shopping. I am primarily in-store. I love to go out and go shopping and shop the sales. I like to touch the fabric, see it in person close up. I am definitely in-store shopping. I don't know of any time that I've really done just online shopping. Okay, knits versus wovens. I've sewn on knits before and it's okay. It's a little bit of a challenge, but it's all right. And wovens, yeah, I've done that all the time. So either or, I'm okay with either. Tumble dry versus hang to dry. You know what? When I lived up in Minnesota, I used to hang all of my sheets and towels and things like that outside on the line. I loved it. It had such a fresh, clean smell. But down here in Florida, it's so humid that it takes things forever, if ever, to dry. So it's definitely tumble dry where I live right now. Rotary cutters versus scissors. For me, it's either or. I've used both, okay. I will use my rotary cutters when I'm cutting out quilting blocks or whatever, you know. When I'm doing quilting, I'll use my rotary cutters for that. When I'm doing clothes sewing or craft sewing, I prefer scissors. That's me, so it's an either or on that one. Or to topic 3. Do I follow the pattern or wing it? Well, I just am not knowledgeable enough or talented enough, skilled enough to wing it. I will follow the pattern as much as I can. Sometimes I don't understand the pattern and I don't have anybody to get clarification from, so I'll have to wing it a little bit then, but primarily I try to follow the pattern all the way. Bias tape finish versus facings. This one I learned a lot about by watching other people's videos here. I've always done the facings and I didn't like them. I mean, I'd always have to tack it down or use that iron-on seam tape to get it to stay down. But the bias tape finish, I'm gonna have to give that a try. I've never used that sort of finishing, but I'm sold on it, so I might just be doing that in the future. Serge seams versus French seams. The only French seam that I've done before has been on a pillowcase. And I mean, it was a very nice, clean look. Otherwise, lately, yeah, I use my serger to finish up a seam. You know, I'll sew the straight stitch seam and then go back and do the serger to give it a clean finish look. I like that. Button fly versus zip fly. Neither. But I guess if I usually slacks or dresses that I do, well, slacks, you know, will be a zipper. So I guess I'd have to say zip fly. A button fly? No, I don't think so. I think a zip fly would be what I'd go with. Button by hand versus machine sewn. And I do admit, my machine will sew a button on, but I've never used it. I have sewn all my buttons on by hand, all the time. Probably always will. So button by hand. Fusible versus sew-in interfacing. And I've used both. I do like the fusible though. You just, you know, iron that on and forget about it. I do like the fusible. Snip as you go or all at once. And I do my best to snip as I go. But there's always a straggler. There's always a straggler stitch in there that needs to be cleaned up when I'm done with the project. Press as you go or all at once. Depends on what I'm working on. If I'm quilting, I press as I go. Doing something clothing-wise or craft-wise, I may not always press as I go. Sometimes I'll do a little finger pressing, but I'm not really conscious about doing it every step of the way, not as I am when I'm quilting. So typically though, I press as I go. And that takes us to night seamstress versus daytime seamstress. Definitely daytime, most definitely. I'm not, these days anyway, I'm not that wide awake at night to be sewing. It's not safe. Okay, slow and steady versus frantic sewing. No, I don't think I've ever done frantic sewing. Yeah, I'm slow and steady pretty much. I take my time. Yeah. I wouldn't even say I'm steady. I'm slow. I just take my time. Tidy as you go versus one big cleaning session. Well, when I'm snipping threads, I have a bag, a little trash bag near the machine that I throw my threads and scrap fabrics, little pieces of fabric in. So I clean up as I go in that case. But primarily, I'm a one big cleaning session type of person. It just gets to be that way. It does. I try to be tidy, but it still leads up to being one big cleaning session for me. Okay, and that is the end of the tag. All 4 topics have been covered, and I hope you've enjoyed this, because I did enjoy chatting with you about these things, and it kind of gets you to learn more about me and my sewing habits, or lack of. No, I do have some sewing habits. It's just that I'm not. I'm more like a relaxed sewist. I take my time with a project. I've been working on the same projects for quite a while now, because actually I'm not really working on them. They're just kind of sitting in my sewing nook waiting for me, but I'll get back there. We have a storm coming up in the near future here real soon. Idalia, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, but she's churning away in the Gulf and heading our way. It's really an iffy as to where exactly she's going to be going. How far north of us, or hitting us right on, or what. But we'll find out in another day or so. But Bella, she's becoming a little star here with me, isn't she? Biting me and everything. Look at, who's that puppy right there in that camera? Do you see her? I see her. She's a brat, and she likes to chew on me yet. Bella and I started our puppy behavior class last Saturday. Yeah. But she did really good. I mean, we learned things like, my finger is not for you to chew on. We learned things like, okay, how to stop her from biting, like, no bite, Bella, no bite. And then I can just put her down, which I would have, but I'm not going to right this minute. How to get her to sit, which she already did. How to get her to look at me right in the eyes, which you want to have full attention on you. And she does that, perfect. The barking business, though, man, she still barks at things, here. She still barks at things. We have a ways to go yet, I know. But anyway, that's what's keeping me busy these days, is Bella primarily. And now this training class. There is no sewing class until October. And so there won't be much going on in my sewing nook probably until then. But that doesn't mean that I'm not keeping busy around here. There are other things to do. Oh, when I was talking about that storm, we do have, it's tropical storm. It's not a hurricane yet. But we do have tropical storm Idalia heading our way. And we're told it will hit the coast of Florida by tomorrow, I think it is. Yeah. We just don't know where exactly she's going to end up we don't know yet where exactly she's going to be going. Where I live, we could be on the fringe of where she's going to hit, where we'll just get rain. Well, heavy rain and flooding is what they're saying, and strong winds, okay. But we won't get the brunt of the storm here. We'll find out. And we're ready. We are standing ready. We're all set up, ready for whatever happens. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with Bella now on board with us. But we'll take it as it comes. Anyway, I hope you're all having a good week out there. And oh, I guess I am supposed to name other people to do this or that challenge, but I don't know who all has done it, you know, in the community. I don't think So Carole has done it yet, so I'll tag her. She's on vacation right now, or, you know, she's out of the country, put it that way, right now, as I'm filming this. So, you know, Carole, if you feel like doing it, you know, love to have you join in too. I don't think you have yet. And, oh gosh, I don't even know who else hasn't been. Has Trish done it? I don't think so. Trish hasn't recorded recently, but Trish, do you feel like doing this or that? If you do, that's fine too. Trish at Pinky's Farm. So I'll tag those two people, and I'll put down below their name and channel link, you know. Go check them out too. Yeah. And also, I will put down the link for Just Me and My Fabric and the Curated Curvy, her channel as well. All of that information will be down below. So check them out. And all the other channels doing this or that as well. That's about it for this time. Hope you're all having a good week out there. You take care, and I'll be talking to you again real soon. Well, soon enough. Well, actually, I don't know how soon I'll be talking to you, but in the near future, I'll be around. Okay? Take care. But it's bye for now.